participating. You've made some beautiful choices. You're going to love your watches. But what made me think of that is who was setting the initial records is definitely Javril. Well, Javril comes for their big holiday show this coming weekend. It sounds far away, but it's not. On November the 20th, we're going to have as our guest Samuel Friedman, president of Javril. Stephen J., vice president of Javril, is going to be joining us. This is a very, very big deal. Now, between Stuhrling, which we're going to do obviously now, and then you've got Javril next week. And by the way, we are the only network that has a direct factory relationship with Javril. In fact, I'm very pleased to say that as Stuhrling has come on board, we have a direct factory relationship with Stuhrling, with Javril, with Jean Marcel, with Oceanaut, just naming a few of the brands that we have here. But now let's talk about another show that I've been kind of hinting at for a while, and it was a theory, and then it became let's try it, and it's going to happen, and that is Dreamwatch. This is where you, the viewers, have been writing us, and you say, well, basically, here's the deal. Send us an email. Let me give you the address. Send it to host, H-O-S-T-S, plural, host at shoppingsource.com. And in the title line, just write Dreamwatch. Then in the body of the email, just tell us the watch that you want. It can be any watch in the world, even if you're not a watch collector. I know that many of you at some point have aspired to own a, so-and-so watch, right? All right, write that watch in the email, send it to us. Now, I'm not saying we're going to find every watch, but we're going to promise to look. And if we do find it, we're going to notify you. And in addition to that, we decided we'd make a show out of some of the most popular ones. Now, we're going to do several Dream Watch shows, but the first Dream Watch show will be this Thursday. And it's going to be at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Central. And I'm not sure yet if we're doing 2 hours or 1 hour, but it'll be at least an hour of Dream Watches. And some of you are going to go, okay, so what is a Dream Watch? Well, you guys, first of all, picked the watches, but I think you did a pretty good job. This is not the only brands, but among the brands you're going to see, Jaeger-LeCoultre, Ulysse Nardin, who else? Chopard, I'm drawing a blank on Bon Mercier is going to be one. The Zenith, we're going to get into some Zenith. So there are some real monster, world-class watches that we're going to save you guys a fortune on. And it's going to be Thursday night, one night only this time around, and then we'll, of course, notify as the other Dream Watch shows come to fruition. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I think that's it for now. So let's do that. I'm now strongly having it recommended to me that we do a lovely preview. I concur with that analysis. So let us proceed, and we'll take a look now at a lovely preview. Now, as always, everything you're about to see is immediately available, so it's not necessary for you to wait for myself or for my special guest this evening, Larry, to expound further. So let's take a look, and this is some pretty cool stuff. First of all, for the ladies, this is the Wall Street. This is not, by the way, a gentleman-sized watch. It was just colored differently to make women think they can wear it. This is a lady-sized watch. It is a mechanical automatic. It's a true skeleton with a mother-of-pearl dial, with an exhibition back, with a beautiful strap, just vibrant, exciting colors. All colors, I believe. Now, we're going to get an update, but I think all colors are still available here, though not necessarily like the pink one, for example, is all but sold out. So $179 for that. I think that's a $660 watch, if memory serves. This one, very stately, very beautiful. You put this on, it looks like you're wearing, frankly, a fortune. This is and by the way, I was talking earlier. We had a conference with top men earlier today, and I was saying, and I'll say it now, do not get used to prices being this discounted. Now, we're always going to offer the best value we can. That's not what I'm telling you. But I am telling you that when you see like $930 to $149, this is where the team at Stuhrling and the team at WSS decided to get together, and we were bound and determined to make this a record-setting event. And indeed, it's proven true, and then some. Frankly, this has gone beyond what most of us thought it would be. So we're kind of having, to say the least, a great time with this. So the point is, while they last, $930 watch for $149. This is a mechanical automatic. This has a big date complication at the 2. It's a secondary time zone that's done actually in Greenwich Mean Time digitally over at the 9. Offset sweep. This is a very, very beautiful watch, by the way. $2952 if you like that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. This one, I'll cut to the chase. This is the #1 selling Stuhrling of all time. Now, first of all, Stuhrling, for those of you who don't know this, is not exclusively a television brand. Just like when you think of certain brands, you go, well, they're really just a TV brand. Stuhrling is not that. Stuhrling is also available in more conventional outlets. This is the #1 seller, be it television, you combine all their outlets, this is it. This is A $1,300 watch. It's a mechanical automatic, open heart as you can see, animated AM PM indicator, a really cool fan-shaped, Greenwich Mean Time dial. Plus, it's a regulator. Now, just by the way they happen to have set these hands, it looks like it's 10 until 2, but it's actually, for the record, it's actually 10 after 10 if you know how to read a regulator. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. The point is, it's $1,300. Well, actually more than that. We have it at $349. Okay, moving ahead. By the way, once again, already just about every line going here. And this is going to get more busy before it finally cools off. This is huge. This is a $900 watch. $875. Beautiful sport watch. I think it's a 42 millimeter if memory serves. Very decorated. Number one seller, for those of you who care about such things, safety orange on the black. The other is a red on the silver and a black on the silver. All right, from $875 to $159, and with interest-free payment. Here's the beauty of this: with our interest-free payment program, you not only get basically a $900 watch, you're going to get it sent to you for $53 and $8 to FedEx, and most of you are going to have this by midweek, because as compared to, frankly, any other channel you care to name, they're going to send it to you in roughly, they call it 7 to 10 working days, which, believe me, is TV speak for 2 weeks. Realistically, 2 to 3 days, you're going to have this. You order it now, it's going to be there midweek. Now, I don't know if this is the number one seller, but it is certainly in the top 3 so far over our record-setting weekend. This is an $800 watch. We're releasing this at $179. There's also a ladies' example, by the way. And the ladies' example is available on our website. I'm not sure we're going to be getting to that tonight or not. If we can, I'd love to show it. If we can, it's on shoppingsource.com, and I'm sure it's going to be on the show Monday afternoon with Carmela Richards. That'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. You can check it out then. But anyway, this is the guy's version, the bigger version, if you will. Ladies, this will be oversized, very festive, very colorful. The guilloche work on this dial is stamped between 40 and 50 times. The detail is extraordinary. Very cool strap with this, too. It's this really cool perforated leather. Anyway, $800? No, $179 while they last, $2,924 to grab that one. Our CEO has actually added that one to his collection. Now, I have this exact watch in my collection. I actually got mine at JCK Vegas, and I will tell you, having watched the response to Stuhrling at JCK Vegas, there were 2 watches in particular that generated a huge, huge interest. Well, there's 3, really. There's this very cool regulator. I'm not sure they make any more. There was this one, which is really big among collectors and dealers, and then there's also the Tourbillon, one of which you will see tonight. Now, this one is a $1,200 watch. We have it at $349. Interest-free payments. You can check it out for, well, let's call it $117. And again, we'll have it to you by midweek. $8 to FedEx. By the way, for those of you who don't know, this is not just FedEx for the holidays. And I know you've got, other places that'll go, hey, look what we did for you for Christmas, Hanukkah. We do FedEx every day of every year, all year, always. You order something here, you get it as a rule in 2 to 3 days. You don't have to wait a couple, 3, 4 weeks, whatever. 2917, number one seller so far, and that is the layered in rose gold option. But they're all available. 2917 for that one. Let's go ahead and move on. That's a deceptively complex watch, by the way, and so is this one. This one is so complex, I'm not even going to explain it to you right now. It's a regulator. It does lots of other really cool things. It's, I guess we could call it a master calendar now being prompted. It's probably just a way to sum it up. This is, it's incredibly cool. And by the way, I will be adding one of these to my collection. It's not an if or I'm thinking about it. I am adding one of these. 44 millimeter. It's a monster of a watch. We have it while they last at under $400. Now, in addition to that, you're going to get this with interest-free payments. Guys, check it out for $133. And if you do, I guarantee you're going to keep this watch. This is beyond cool. By the way, this is, let me be clear in this, a mechanical automatic. It's not like you're getting all this incredible master calendar, this, that, and the other, and then you get it home and go, well, I wish they'd mentioned it was a quartz. No, we're not going to say that because it's not true. This is a mechanical automatic with a decorated back, exhibition back, and it's phenomenal. I can't wait to get mine. 2923. I think all 3 styles in that are still available. All right, let's move on and take a look at some other stuff. Here's another one I happen to have in my collection at the moment. This is actually, to be very candid about it, this is something that I actually have the cousin. They first started building this case about 4 years ago. And they, at the time, brought this out. I had a moon face, so I happen to have that one. But the point is, I'm actually wearing mine tonight. It's been one of my go-to watches for over 4 years if you need an elegant dress watch. Let me tell you something. When I wear this, I've had more comments where people are basically, and frankly, I think this is an odd question, but I get asked this. Maybe it's just because I do watches on TV or something, but it's they want to know how much is the watch. Everybody is amazed when and by the way, when I bought mine, it was way higher, like several times more than $229. It comes across extremely upscale. Wait till you see this dial in extreme magnification. It's a phenomenal piece. Anyway, check it out for $77. Now, speaking of things you might want to check out, I'll be the first to tell you there's going to be only a handful of you in the audience that can even step up to this. I know that. Frankly, if I could own one of these, I would. I will be genuinely envious of anybody who can own one of these things. They are, in a word, absolutely brilliant. This is a completely hand-built Swiss tourbillon. Anyone who has never had the chance to hold one of these, to be able to talk about one of these, you're missing out. This is genius. This is the real deal. Swiss, in fact, this was built under direct supervision in Switzerland of George von Berg, who is, as a lot of you know, a third-generation master watchmaker. This lists for $36,900, and considering it's solid 18-karat gold, handmade in Switzerland, $36,900 is actually pretty low. Usually, if you want a solid gold tourbillon out of Switzerland, you're probably north of 40, and it's not uncommon in 60 to 80 range, and up from there. The point is at $22,800, which is basically what this is. If you have the means, do not hesitate to own this watch. It's a true mechanical. It's an exhibition back and fully decorated, custom everything, of course, and it is astonishing. We'll get into that. All right. Moving back into the watches most people will like. Well, I know you all love that, but you can actually buy. This one is a $930 watch. It's available at $249. Very, very cool sport watch. Now, this one is not colossal. I think it's about a 38 millimeter, actually. But it's really, really nice. Now, what you don't see in this shot, you do see it's an automatic, and it is. But what you don't see is that the second time zone on this actually floats. It doesn't float. Well, you say that. It's got this track, and the secondary time zone not only, of course, shows you the time zone of choice. You can set it however you wish. But it actually flows completely around the dial. It actually follows the minute hand around the dial. It's this brilliant complication. Great bragging rights on this, guys. $930 watch, ships on a rubber strap, and which looks very cool. All right, we're going to go old school. This one, as we used to say on the show, breaking it down old school. All right, this is original generation Stuhrling. It is immediately collectible because this is no longer in production. In fact, has not been in production, I'd say, for the better part of probably 2 years. This is very large. It's at least a 42, and I think actually it's a 44. It's a very, very big case. It's got to be a 44. Massive sapphire crystal. Both sides of this are sapphire. It's a true mechanical automatic. It is a true moon phase as well. This is not animated AM PM. Mechanical automatic, big date, Greenwich Mean Time, day wheel, and true moon phase with sapphire for $349. Not to mention it's gorgeous. So if you want one, that is no longer in production. In fact, I'm told we got the absolute final quantity that was even available in the vault. So when those are gone, you'll have to go to secondary market, and enough said on that. All right. Now, if you guys want to steal a watch, grab this one at $149. This is again, and let me emphasize this. I said it at the top of the show. I'm going to say it again. Do not get used to like $930 to $149. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to discount Stuhrling, because we will, just like we do when we work with directly with Javril or Jean Marcel or any of our great brands. But as a rule, we will not be going from $930 to $149. This, again, for those of you just joining us, be it by chance or deliberately, this is Stuhrling's official kick-off weekend here at WSS. In fact, you're watching one of the premier shows. And everybody wanted to make sure this was an out-of-the-park home run. And if that meant you just marked things down and it wasn't so much that we were not, or making much of anything, but we just got a lot of watches and a lot of wrists, we were fine with that. So there you go. This is very, very cool. Now, this is called the Traveler. This one is a beautiful Swiss movement. What's really cool about this one is not just the fact it's a very high-grade moon, which it actually happens to be, but It also will tell you the time immediately anywhere in the world. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that's a world timer, right? I mean, you had that on the show before in any number of incarnations. Well, yes and no. This is the only one I've seen, and I'm quite certain it would be the only one in this price range, that once you set up the world time, you never ever have to rotate a dial or adjust anything ever again. This automatically, remember it's quartz, so it's not like you have to keep this thing on a winder forever either. This, at a glance, will always tell you what time it is anywhere in the world without adjusting anything. Now, most world timers, when you want to see the time, you actually have to, you rotate a bezel or you turn a secondary crown and it moves something on the dial, which is very cool, and I love them. You look at the one for 15,000, I think it is, from Patek Philippe. It's ingenious. But you know what? You still got to adjust that thing every time you want to see what time it is in, Dubai or something. This, automatic, it's very cool. All right, now, this one again, under 150 bucks, $660 watch. This, I believe, is also a high-grade quartz, if memory serves. This one features a beautiful big date, and the other is, I believe that's the second hand. Yes, it is. And what this is a magnificent dial. By the way, not to necessarily pick favorites, but I got to tell you that copper one is actually incredibly cool. And I'll tell you flat out why. It really looks like it's made out of copper. You ever seen what's called a copper dial and get it home and it kind of looks like something like copper-like product or something? This will look like you took a new penny and put it through one of those penny machines, which is, I think it's one of the beautiful ironies where you actually supply the building material and they put a insert penny and $8. And then you also supply the labor, and then you get like a little cable car or something at the end. Anyway, where I'm going with that. So here's a $660 piece at $149, and it's a fairly big watch, by the way. Not necessarily overly huge, but definitely substantial. All right, just my personal opinion. I happen to think this is one of the bargains in the entire show. And I'll tell you flat out now, for any of you who might have any kind of a respect for my opinion on dial design, that Stuhrling has done two dials that are absolutely breathtaking. This is one of the two. The other one, sadly, they no longer produce, at least to my knowledge. Maybe I can talk them into bringing it back, which is a regulator they did in the initial generation of Stuhrling, which was just mesmerizing, just phenomenal dial. And this one, which has got this remarkable wave pattern, even though it's basically what they call a soleil or a sundial kind of a pattern. And it is gorgeous. It is absolutely stunning. Guys, I'm telling you right now, especially if you put a high-end exotic on this thing, everyone's going to think you're wearing like your house on your wrist. It's unbelievable. All right, got one more for you, and we're going to get Larry out here. We're going to get underway. This one, the Anna Digi. This is a ladies' size watch, but it's got a perpetual calendar, and I don't have time now to explain what that is, but trust me, it's usually very expensive. It's got a perpetual calendar. It's got a chronograph. It's got 3 different time zones, and if you don't like the digital, you can even turn it off entirely if you want, or have it somewhat on, or whatever. The point is, it's a $1,200 watch. I believe this is sapphire as well, if memory serves. Stingray strap, $229, and it is gorgeous. It absolutely is. Don't just think of this as like a high-tech toy. This is nice. This is very nice. This is a $1,200 example. If memory serves, I think we're supposed to be at like $300 in this thing too. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're out at $229, $2,936. Check it out, $77. You will keep it. It is beautiful. Light blue, white, pink, or black. Even the LED, actually they're LCD readouts on this thing. They're actually tinted to match the straps. I mean, it's very cool. All right, we got to go. First of all, here's an update. So we've had at least one sellout apparently from the preview, if that means what I think it does. Now, again, admittedly, we didn't have any more than probably 20 of those, but they're gone. And that's right. It also means we can no longer break it down old school. So let's do this instead. Let's get Larry out here drinking coffee and enjoying himself. Larry, again, first of all, just out of the gate, seriously, I wanted to thank you and your whole team.
Hey.
For you guys have been
Tim.
Beyond generous, and everyone got together and said, we're going to make this debut just out of the park. And indeed, that's already happened. And it's due largely to you guys. So I want to thank you for that. You guys have been
first
very
of all, you don't have to thank us. I want to thank you, and I want to thank you at home out there for making this just a spectacular weekend so far. We're not done yet. We've got the rest of this show tonight, another hour and, 40 minutes, plus 2 more shows tomorrow. And I just want to keep this momentum going. Join the party. It's been a big party all year long. It's like we're on a parade going down, on a big float going down Timepiece Boulevard with Tim Temple. And I just want to keep this parade rolling, Tim.
It's, every show that we've been doing together just eclipsed the previous, and tonight's going to be no exception. Let's open up, in fact, with one of the biggest selling
absolutely,
ladies' watches
and congratulations to whoever got the final couple pieces on that, our old Model 23, that big 44mm moon phase. That's one from the old days, so there were a couple of people paying attention at least. And here we go, Lady Wall Street.
All right, now as we get into this, one of the first things I want to do here, say if you want, and Chris, let me double cap that, gold tone in the black, right? Okay, good. There is now officially less than 15 of the gold tone in the black. So that will, now you never know, but it will very likely sell out in this area. Now this is a very new watch. This is in current production. Are we going to get more? Yeah. Are we going to get it for Christmas, Hanukkah? Maybe. I don't know. But I do know if you want it, you can order it right now, and you'll get it by midweek. The other colors so far, I think we're okay. But seriously, if you want the black, which is for the record is this guy, we are down to less than 15 of these. Well, I'm trying to think of where really to begin, but I guess we should talk about the fact that this is it's a lady-sized watch, but you guys also went true mechanical automatic here.
Well, here you're looking at, absolutely, Tim, a lady's automatic skeleton watch. By itself, that should be enough. At $180, a lady's skeleton automatic could be end of story right there. But let's talk about it. We're looking at the fuchsia, which is being called the pink. But that fuchsia strap on Chris here, our model, with the pink mother of pearl, with the matching pink hands. You see on the ladies' version here, we've put the crown at the 4 o'clock position there for a little extra styling for the ladies. But just imagine a lady walking into a boardroom or a business meeting wearing a skeleton automatic. Not the typical fashion, timepiece that a lady might wear or whatever, but kind of a business statement for a lady or an executive statement for a lady. And that's why we call it the Lady Wall Street, Jim.
I was waiting on that.
Oh, my God. You see, I told you. Tim, I swear to God, if you ever take me drinking again, I am not kidding you. I can't handle it. I told you that, Tim. It had to happen.
Yeah, I was waiting on it.
But it was the third show.
It was. You held out very well.
The over-under was 2. So 2 shows. It took the third show.
That's good. It happens. All right, but it's out of your system now. We can all move on.
Hey, but take a look at this, Tim. It's the skeletonized rotor. You know what? That's what happens when you're having a good time. You get a little loose, right? That just shows you we're having a good time, right? Okay, and I appreciate you taking a good nature there, too. But just call me, well, don't call me anything. I just thought of a few names there, just call me Sammy. But anyway,
sure.
There was the tangerine version, the orange version with the orange mother of pearl. I like this one that the camera's on right here. This has got kind of a sand-colored strap, but take a look at those hands, Tim. Those are like oxblood color, okay? This is and the same thing with the Arabic numerals there. This is an execution here, I think, for the ladies that they could literally wear with anything. So, gentlemen out there, if you're looking to get your lady a gift for Christmas, you buy all your watches for yourself, get her in the game too. You want to get something that's kind of safe. I mean, don't get me wrong, pink is a very, very hot color this year. Pink is probably the hottest color for ladies this year, and that's what Chris is showing you right now. But if you want to be on the safe side, something that kind of goes with everything, I think that sand strap right there kind of goes with everything. Or the black, I mean, the one that you're showing right there, Tim. The black, the rose gold with the white mother of pearl and the black strap, that certainly is very multifunctional as well.
This one is the only version, by the way, that has rose gold. I know that's historically hugely popular among collectors. So if you want to grab the only example of the Wall Street built for women that has the rose gold treatment, it would be this one. You order it under rose tone with white. Otherwise, the black, which I referred to earlier, which is the black mother of pearl and with the yellow gold, that one now, frankly, is definitely down inside of, I was going to say less than a dozen. It's down to less than 10. It looks like it's going to be gone very, very shortly. Let me go over our colors here very, very quickly. The one I'm currently showing you is, this is the, let's see, this is, I think, just rose. More or less, so the rose tone with the white. Then we had a little bit earlier, I think we're calling this one taupe, I believe.
Or
no,
khaki.
Or khaki. Is it khaki they're calling this one? And then we've also got some really cool ones like the blue and, of course, the orange, which I know is one of your personal favorites. And the pink is very, very obvious. The pink so far tonight, once again, has proven to be the hottest seller, though just because of sheer quantity, it looks like the black with the yellow gold, which is all the way to the left in this shot, is probably going to be the one that will go first. And it is, frankly, very regal looking, for lack of a better word.
And listen, all you watch collectors out there, all you guys that love Tim Temple and you follow his shows and everything, and you buy watches for yourself, I'm sure that all of the members of your family and all your friends know that you're a watch collector. You could pick up 2 or 3 of these Lady Wall Streets and give them as gifts for Christmas. It's kind of a statement of your own hobby, and I mean, you can decide who gets what. You can give the pink one to your daughter, or the black one to your mother, or the taupe one or the blue one to your wife. And, everybody knows you're a watch collector. Get them involved in the game, too.
All right, let's take a look at one that I personally find very, very regal. It's got a very dramatic presence to it. This is another one, too, because it is a 20-millimeter strap. And it does, by the way, ship with a very nice leather strap, cool contrast stitching. I'll tell you something, guys. If you really want to make this look like you are wearing a small fortune on your, not even that small of a fortune on your wrist, go to our website and check out our 20-millimeter exotic straps, because you put a flat finish alligator or crocodile on this thing, which we can save you a fortune on, by the way. It's going to look like you're wearing thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, the cool part is you don't have to tell anybody you got this at only $149. Now, I have to tell you, we did do, of course, an earlier premiere show, as a lot of you know. And because of that, this one is already just about gone. And that being said, let's go ahead and we'll do 3 minutes on this, and we'll see where we are. As I've also stated earlier, do not, on any regular day, expect us to do $930 watches at $149. This is an introductory weekend. We took it very serious. We wanted to make sure that this was a huge success. So did Stuhrling. So frankly, a lot of concessions have been made here to make this a huge hit. And indeed it has been. This has been an absolutely overwhelming weekend, and we still have 2 more shows to go. But the point is that when this is gone, it's gone. But in the interim, this is a $930 watch you guys can enjoy at $149, and it's for this, existing quantity, basically. So if you're interested, I ask that you get online pretty quick. This is 2952. There are 2 available. One is the white steel. This is all 316L steel. So one is the white steel with the blue, and the other is the rose tone, which is layered, by the way, obverse and reverse in gold. And just to remove all doubt, I know Larry's got a bunch to say on this, but this is something that and here's the part, because of the price, I want to be very clear, this is a mechanical automatic with exhibition back. This is not a quartz example. Frankly, $149, I don't really object if it was a nice quartz movement, given this dial work alone. And we'll get to some extreme close-ups here, but check this out. This is now again, this is not a quartz, is my point. Offset sweep, and wait till you see the extreme close-ups of these dials. In fact, Larry, let's talk about, I know you have tons of information on this watch, but I've got to start somewhere. When you have a Stuhrling show, you can't not talk about your dials, and I think this is a good a watch as any is to get into it.
Thank you, Tim. This is a Guilloche Soleil design. This dial has been impressed, hydraulically stamped, who knows, 40, 50 times at least, something like that, individually. They're done with vintage German machines, and I don't want to bore people that have heard me tell this over and over and over, but we are known for that. The key here, there's your home time. This is a dual time zone watch, ladies and gentlemen, an automatic dual time zone. You need to run to the phone and get these while they last. This was not intended to sell for this price. We sharpened our pencil, WSS sharpened their pencil, and I'll tell you, this watch has never shown ever anywhere near this price. I don't think we've ever shown it anywhere below $200. I don't think, but certainly not down here at $149. Take advantage of this. Bring it home. Take a look. Try it on, and if you don't love it, well, then send it back. But let me tell you a little bit also about this case. It's solid stainless steel. Okay, 316L surgical stainless steel, which is the highest grade, Tim. Of course, as you know, it contains nickel, which makes it so expensive. But also, the other thing is, if on the execution, Chris is doing a great job of showing these watches. She's showing the back. But on the execution that Tim's got right here on the camera with the rose gold, if you flip that over, Tim, and you show them the back of this watch and see the automatic movement, you will see that what we've done, now the one that Chris is showing you is the stainless execution, okay? You see the Côte de Genève on the rotor here, but on the rose gold one, this one should be at least $30, $40 more. They're both the same price, but we've coated that with rose gold, okay? We didn't have to do that on the movement. You know, we could have left it as
the back of the watch, frankly.
The back of the watch, the movement, the rotor. We could have left that stainless steel, and it would be perfectly acceptable. That costs more money. This version, this execution that you're seeing right now should actually be more than the stainless version, and it's not. Take advantage of this, ladies and gentlemen. You've got a big complication at the 2 o'clock position. By the way, if this case looks familiar, it's very similar in style, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ulysses Nardine Michelangelo, which is a very famous, well-known watch design. The case, kind of a plump tonneau. I don't know how else you want to say it.
That works.
A plump tonneau, but nevertheless, it's a very famous style of case, which automatically people look at it and they think you have a very, very expensive watch, and you do. But nevertheless, this is a great opportunity here to pick this up at just a super bargain basement blowout kind of a price. I was even surprised by the price here because you guys.
I was too, and I want to comment very quickly. The reason, if you notice, that we're not doing any interest-free payments is, frankly, we're making so little on the watch that we decided that would be the trade-off. So while they last, guys, they're $149, and then they're gone. And for those of you who get in time, and yes, I've got every line going, and we could do the next 20 minutes. Well, no, we couldn't because we don't have nearly enough of these. So I'll tell you right now, we're down to, I'm quite certain we're down to less than 50 of each of these. So if you want one, they're under $150 for, and these are, by the way, these are not pre-owned or any of that noise. These are brand new, in the box, full Stuhrling warranties, $930 watch at $149. It's while they last. And then they're gone. That's it. 2952 if you like it. Let's go ahead and move on. If you're caught in the wait in the phone room, you might want to go to shoppingsource.com. You can watch the show there if you want. You'll order from exactly the same inventory. But frankly, if you're already online, just hold on. We've got every available operator working. We'll be getting to all your calls here in a matter of moments. All right. Let's go to now, not just the #1 seller here, which it happens to be. This is, and in fact, let's take a look at this now. We'll just do roughly another 3 minutes or so on this. But this is something, a stat I learned from you. This isn't just a watch you go, well, this is the #1 that you guys have had in the last couple of days. I mean, this is as in a company, the biggest seller to date that you've produced.
It is, and it had to do with another reseller that we did business with that we gave an exclusive to. And the bottom line, Tim, is that there are more people, human beings, wearing this Stuhrling watch than any other Stuhrling that we have ever produced. Okay, roughly in the ballpark of about 10,000 pieces. And we have never shown this on TV. And we had to get literally special permission from the reseller that we gave the exclusive to on this because we're at the end of it now. And he had the exclusive literally through the end of this year. We got permission basically for this opening here on WSS this weekend. And this is the only execution we have. This originally came in 6 executions. By far our #1 seller of all time. It's a regulator in an oval-shaped case. It's got an open heart. Take a look at that. It's got everything that we're known for. You can see the guilloche dial work right there behind it. And we call this the Adamus. It's the Adamus, ladies and gentlemen, which means in Greek, unconquerable, okay? Because this watch truly is unconquerable as far as we are concerned. It's our all-time #1 bestseller. It is sensational. An automatic regulator, excuse me. You see you've got the GMT hand right there, and then you've got an AM/PM, animated AM/PM with a sun-moon indicator around the 2 o'clock position as well. But it's just beautiful, it's heavy, it's solid, and you know, the strap is nice, okay? It's a genuine leather strap, but if you put an exotic on this...
If you put an exotic on this, it looks like you're going to be, minimum, you'd be wearing a few $1,000s.
Oh, yes, and it's got the dual deployant clasp,
now
everything...
Check this out. This is cool. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No, that's okay. If you're not familiar with how to read a regulator, you have your hour hand up in the subdial at 12 o'clock. So right now it's a little off the camera, but it's pointing to, what is that, 11?
About 11.
Okay, or almost 11. And then it's got the minute hand just before 40. So therefore, right now I would read this as 10:39 or 10:38. You see that? So, and it gets, it takes a few times to look at it to get to learn how to read it, but once you do, it's very, very easy to read. And the idea behind it, they used to call it a doctor's watch, or I guess they referred to regulators as doctor's watches.
They were doctor's watches. They were actually developed in pocket watches, for those of you who don't know, because the idea was that doctors taking pulses and so on, sometimes with just moments' notice, didn't want to have to look down and have one hand obscured by the other. So they actually developed separate dials for each function, and hence the nickname doctor's watch. But it's a very, very cool complication.
Instead of the minute hand obscuring the hour hand, maybe, 24 times a day or 12 times a day? I have never even figured that out. It only obscures the hour hand for 2 minutes per day when it's straight up 12 o'clock noon and straight up 12 o'clock midnight, okay? But it's a regulator. It's a conversation piece. It's our all-time bestseller. Try it. You're going to like it. Bring it home. If you don't like it, we'll take it back. You know the drill. But I'll tell you right now, you will love this piece. It's a great conversation piece. And as I mentioned, it's our all-time bestseller, and we get the warranty registration cards with the comments, and people write in, beautiful watch, love the watch. People have bought, second and third ones as gifts. It's just our bestseller of all time. And
I want to identify very quickly, if I may, the complications, and we're going to move on. And yes, again, every line is going, so please be patient. By all means, call, because the wait's not bad. We're about caught up, actually, but a lot of the stuff, if it doesn't outright sell out this evening, will be very, very close. Open heart complication here, allowing the escapement to be viewed. Beautiful blue screws, multiple finishes actually on the bridge work. This is an animated AM/PM indicator, which is a very cool thing. It actually strongly resembles a moon phase, but it's not. It's an AM/PM indicator. The regulator, of course, this is your minute hand, this is your hour hand on a separate dial. This guy over here with the crescent, this is actually a Greenwich Mean Time dial. You'll notice that there's the short hand that will track the inner crescent, and the longer hand will track the outer. This is a very, very cool piece. Anyway, we got to go. Last call on this. This is the #1 selling Stuhrling of all time. Not just here, but ever in history. That is it. All right, let's get to the sports stuff.
All right, here we go. What do we got? The Olympia coming up?
Yeah.
Are we going to do the rotating second time zone?
The Olympia, I think.
Oh, okay. Let's do the Olympia. Tim, this is a chronograph watch. It's a Swiss-headed G15 movement, so you got a really top-notch movement on this watch. It's got skeletonized hands with luminous tips. As I've said over and over again, I love it because, I made it up. But as far as it looks like something from a George Lucas film. When I look at these things, I'm trying to figure out ways to describe them and so forth in newsletters and marketing materials and what have you. And, I just kept looking at it, and it's got the periscope pushers, and it's got the bolts kind of coming out at the lugs, and it's got the protruding, bolts on top, and then the side of the case protrudes from the side as far as the round coming through the side. So I was looking at this thing, I think, God, this looks like a spaceship. It looks like something from a George Lucas film. Anyway, are we down to just 2 executions left only, or what? Or 3?
No, well, technically 3, but the orange is just about gone.
Oh, okay.
But we have it. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is, first of all, and I know you mentioned this in one of the earlier shows, this is not something that's going to be an anomaly. Stuhrling, in my opinion, since I was there for the initial generation about 4 years ago, they came out very, very strong as dress watches, but you've indicated they are also very intent in becoming a real player in the sport watches as well.
Well, I hope so. I mean, I hope we get more into the sport watches. I think, generally speaking, when you have a chronograph, it automatically fits into the category of a sport watch, almost just by definition. But, I mean, we do have a few chronos that are pretty dressy. But, I mean, I would definitely categorize this one as a sport watch for sure. But this kind of a Swiss quartz movement at this price, just alone without the design, I think is a great bargain. Now the question becomes, do you like the design? And look at this case. The workmanship on this case, this is cut from a solid 316 stainless steel bar. It's a great chronograph movement, skeletonized hands, beautiful Arabic numerals that are done in an outline fashion. Everything about it. It's got a screw back, case back, as you can see right there. It takes a special tool. The case back is etched and engraved, as you can see. Beautiful design work there. That's extra money, folks. It really is. And then we have the strap with contrast stitching that's color coordinated to the execution as well. And beautiful leather strap as well. You got a tachometer on the polished flange. Even the periscope pushers. There's a lot of different ways you can do pushers. You've seen all kinds of pushers, Tim. Take a look at these periscope pushers, ladies and gentlemen. Very perfect choice. I mean, what a great choice for a design for this piece. It really fits. It really does. And again, just the steel case alone, I mean, that is not a cast case. So, I mean, it has everything. The execution that Chris is showing you right now, that's the one I gave to my friend's son for his bar mitzvah. That's the silver and black right there, and Tim's showing you the orange and black. But I gave Zach the silver and black because he was a Raiders fan. So, anyway, if you're, hey, Cincinnati Bengals, I don't know if they won today. Cincinnati Bengals, orange and black, but beautiful, beautiful piece. And again, you know, we didn't have to do skeletonized hands on this piece, but what a great choice. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think what's so cool about this is, first of all, you guys using the Swiss movement, very, very reliable, very efficient. Put a battery in this thing about every 3 years. I think the skeleton hand, which is something you don't see a lot of sport watches that are under $1,000. What I find interesting is that if you look at some of the higher end stuff, like the stuff that's being built for Porsche, or there's, I can't think of right now, some one big Italian brand that's many thousands of dollars that's doing the skeleton hands. And of course, the really high end one of my one of my idols is Richard Mill, who's always doing the skeleton stuff. The point I want to make is here's you've got this great nod to this great legacy, and it's under $160 for this. Now, one of the things I want to be very, very clear on, whether you're looking at this or you're looking at any of the Stuhrling watches that you're going to see in the course of our evening's presentation, this one, case in point, this is not a $160 watch. This is a $900 watch. It lists for $875. Dealers are going to own this for over $400. This is a big kickoff show. You guys are saving a fortune on this thing, and I strongly encourage you to enjoy it while it lasts.
And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, and I'll tell you right now, Tim, you can back me up on this if you want to. There are many Swiss masters, is what I like to call them, Swiss master type companies that use this exact same movement.
Oh, yeah.
This Swiss Etta G15 movement, and when they put it in their watches, it's over $1,000 easily.
Oh,
the same movement. Look at the concentric.
Oh, here's a shot. Look at this.
Yeah, look at the concentric circles that are cut into the dial and also into the subdial. But literally, some of the Swiss masters, if this had a different name on the watch, it would be over $1,000 for this Swiss Etta G15 movement. There's your date aperture down there at 4 o'clock. So you have the date also in addition to the chronograph. Okay, so don't be fooled. And this price is just sensational. If you don't have this watch, you need to be on the phone to get it. And I'll tell you this, if you don't like it for you, it's a great gift item. I know that you know somebody that would love to have this as a gift. And let me tell you, give this as a gift and just check out their reaction when they get it. It is impressive. It's a big case, too. Did we mention it was 42 millimeters?
No, we didn't, but we should have. It's 42. It's engraved, huge. Multiple finishes. It's
huge.
Gorgeous. You will be very, very impressed with that. By the way, finally, for the first time in about half an hour, I've got some open lines. So if you want to get through right now, you're going to be able to do so with no waiting. So for those of you who did wait, we thank you for your patience. For those of you who need to call back, this is a great time to do it. All right, let's get into the Aussie. Now, we do have this in a ladies example, which of course will be a smaller example, and I don't think I'm going to show it to you live on the show. It will be on the show. Now we're back in a wait again. We're going to be tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. Carmela Richards doing a show with, of course, my guest this evening. And it'll be obviously there. So we're going to show you the gentleman's. Now, that being stated, personally, I happen to like the larger look of watches on women as a rule anyway. And if, ladies, if you happen to like that kind of a look, as you can see as Chris wears this for you now, it's very, very cool. Now, Larry, again, we're just going to do obviously about 3 minutes in this, give or take. But as we get into this, one of the places I want to start is with the dial. Because here's why I like it. This is a very, very fun dial, and I love to present this watch showing it just because this is an amazing watch. It doesn't mean you have to be all stuffy all the time. All right, so you've got this great colors, but here's where I'm going with this. Even though this is, you can say it's more of a colorful, more of a fun dial, which is all true, you still have that legendary guilloche work with Stuhrling, where you've got the 40 to 50 times it being pressed. I mean, the detail on this thing is just phenomenal.
Well, thank you, Tim. Okay, the dial, same thing. Vintage German machines, hydraulically impressed. Probably, again, I don't count them, and I'd have to get a count on each one. This one, I'm going to make a guess and say 30 times at least, 30 stampings. And the way you say, how can it be stamped 30 times? Well, what it is, it's a a method of producing these dials where the machine goes stamp and turn, stamp and turn, stamp and turn, stamp and turn, and they're stamped into brass, okay? And then they're dipped. It has to be a soft metal to absorb the embossing, the impressions, okay? And when they do that, these guys who operate those machines, it's a very, very delicate procedure because the slightest little, it's not like automated where it's done by itself. It's operated by human beings, and if they do it wrong, it smears, it smudges, and they have to toss the dial. And the yield loss ratio on these dials is about 2 to 1. In other words, we waste about 2 dials for every dial that makes it into a watch. One thing I'd like to point out too about this look, when I first saw this, I thought, God, that doesn't look like a Stuhrling. That doesn't look like a dress watch. That doesn't look like an elegant. That looks like a toy. Okay? But then I was the one that was fooled because, first of all, I own this thing and I never take it off my wrist now. Okay, I love it, all right? But
our CEO owns this.
I know he does. The thing is, this is one of the hottest looks, ladies and gentlemen, in timepieces right now. It was a hot look made by another company, and we've done our own thing with it. Ours looks completely different. We put the perforated strap, and we did something different with the dial and everything else. But the overall look, we've got the step design case and everything, and this is huge. This case is a monster. It's just gigantic. Look at it on Tim's wrist, and Tim's a big guy. But my point is that if you don't love this piece, I'm telling you right now, give this as a gift because this is one of the hottest looks right now. There's a huge billboard on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan with this look right now on there. And the company that made this look famous, I will tell you, their watches sell for 20 times the price that we're showing this right now for $179. And this is a Swiss quartz as well, ladies and gentlemen. So you will love this piece no matter which execution you have. I took the blue one, but I'm actually going to get the white dial, the one that, is Chris showing you the blue? Chris has the blue and the blue. Tim's got the black and the black. But I'm going to get the one with the white dial with the black strap for my fiance because she wants to wear one when we go out together.
This is the thing I love about this.
There
is
it
that
is.
You didn't give up any of the really very, very, very fine dial detail just because you're going to have some fun with it and do the multiple colors and the like. And it is a very cool watch. Guys, we got to go. We're going to try to get to at least 2 more watches here between now and the top of the hour. If you want one of these,
you need to get this watch right here, folks.
Very cool.
The Aussie.
It really is. Now, again, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, let me put this right, Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, we are going to get another appearance with you, and yourself and Carmela are going to be doing a whole hour dedicated to women's watches. Cool. The smaller or ladies version of that very colorful, it's not called the Aussie, though. You guys have another name for it, I think.
We call it Over the Rainbow.
Over the Rainbow. So that'll be on tomorrow. Or you can check it out now at shoppingsource.com.
Yeah, the ladies' version is Over the Rainbow, and the men's version is the Great Oz, or the Aussie.
The Aussie, if you will. The Ozinator.
Yeah. All right, what do we got, big guy?
All right, let's talk. This is actually one from my collection. Not that anyone necessarily cares, but it is. I actually got mine at JCK Vegas, which admittedly, I do have kind of an advantage so I can get into that thing. And now, of course, you were there because you were representing Stuhrling. And the thing I found, which I do actually when I visit all the booths, is one of the things I'd like to just very quietly do is observe which watches become more popular, because I have no control over that. I can't control what an audience sees or doesn't see when they're at a show. So which ones are they selecting when they've got the whole lineup sitting right in front of them? They can have to see any of them. Now, you guys had 3 watches I thought were generating a huge amount of interest.
Yes.
One of them was your newer regs you guys are still working on. The Tourbillon, of course, you guys had on display, and needless to say, that was a big deal. And then you guys had this one. And I don't know how many dealerships and of course it's proprietary, I don't expect you to tell us, but it's clear that this has been one of the pieces that has generated serious interest in your brand.
Well, thank you, Tim. And, there actually was another watch that was creating quite a stir over there, and it's something I hope to bring to WSS soon. That was our watch with the elephant strap, but we won't talk about that right now. This one, clearly, we put front and center. We put right on the corner. We put it on its own separate display and everything else because this has become our signature piece for 2005. It's the Aviator. The movement is a groundbreaking movement. Maybe you've heard me talk about it before, but I'll talk about it again. This movement is the only movement in the world. It's the Ronda 5050C. We didn't invent it. We just bought it and we put it into one of our watches and we built a tremendous piece around this movement. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tremendous timepiece. If you're looking for something of real quality, this is the piece I would recommend. It is the only movement in the world to combine 4 indicators of a chronograph, tenths of a second, seconds, minutes, and hours up to 12, combined with a day and a big date complication, all in one watch. It is a 7-hand movement. It's the Ronda 5050C. There is no plastic parts in this movement, okay? It's all steel parts. It has 13 jewels. It is a 13-jewel Swiss quartz movement. When is the last time you ever heard of a 13-jewel Swiss quartz movement? This is a very, very, very expensive movement. And then look what we've built around this movement. Take a look at that dial. That dial has been stamped in excess of over 50 times. Now, what you're seeing on the camera right now is our black face. It's our black dial, which is the one that I personally wear. Quite frankly, the black guilloche doesn't pop as well on this particular model as the white, but I think the black is just so elegant. And then look at that gasket-style faceplate that's screwed onto the face of this watch. It is just tremendous. Here's the white dial with the rose gold case. That is obviously, we're going to use only the highest grade of steel. It's 316L surgical stainless steel. Very, very expensive steel. It is cut out of a solid bar. Take a look at a little bit of luminescence on the hands there. This watch is just outrageous. Do you want to show them how that chronograph resets?
Yeah, I'll stop it here.
Have you got to zoom in?
There you go.
Zoom in on that 10 o'clock dial or that 9 o'clock dial. Look how that hour hand is resetting. Take a look at this, folks. This is unbelievable. This is a tremendous piece. What a movement this is. And look at the guilloche work on the little subdials. Look at that thing. It's resetting right now. Okay? That goes up to 12 hours, that subdial right there. Okay? It's unbelievable. And bang, right there, Tim.
It just locks hard to the 12, too. Coming back to the fact that you guys are using such a high-grade movement. Because those of you who know, who have had chronos, you know what I'm talking about. Just because you have a chrono doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to lock up exactly at 12. This is a beautiful, and I know because I own one. I've owned one now since, early June. These are sharp. They're beautiful. They're comfortable. One of the things I did on mine was added an exotic strap. You don't have to, obviously, but if you do this, guys, I'm telling you, the watch plays like you're wearing thousands and thousands of dollars. This one would look amazing on either a walnut or chestnut finish or a black strap. You could take a midnight blue and hook that one up with the one I'm wearing. It has the blue numbers. I mean, you can pull this all sorts of different styles and directions. Once again, I've got just about every line going here. $1,200 watch, guys, at $349.
Let me tell you,
very cool.
Let me tell you something, Tim. This is not the kind of watch that you'd want to wear if you were going to ask your boss for a raise, though, okay? Because you'd think this guy already has too much money, all right? I mean, if you're looking for a watch to make a good impression for whatever reason, whether it's for business or with a lady or just out with your friends, this is a watch that's going to do the job, Tim. So, folks, jump on the Aviator. It's our signature piece for 2005. You won't be sorry. Bring it home, show it around, see what you think, and let us know, okay?
This one, in fact, as we look at this,
here we go.
This is a monster of a watch. This absolutely is. This is very, very cool. This is a $1,300 watch. This is one that I can promise you I will be adding to my existing collection. It is, in a word, absolutely extraordinary.
Tim, I hope that, we're doing this piece now. We're pulling it out with 3 minutes left in the hour. I hope we are going to get more time in the second hour for this piece because we don't want to shortchange the Time Master. I'll tell you that right now. This piece is absolutely incredible, and it really requires more than just 2 or 3 minutes. I'll tell you that right now. This is a masterpiece made for eternity. It is the Time Master, a 44-millimeter regulator combined with a master calendar, combined with a GMT hand, okay, in an automatic for only, we wanted to sell this watch on the air at $499, okay? $499, this watch blows out, okay? Here at WSS, the opening, only $399 for this big 44-millimeter with the coin edge bezel.
Look at this shot.
Unbelievable.
By the way,
skeleton hands.
I've got to interject just for a moment. We've got so many lines coming in now that we're actually, frankly, we're going to just kind of lose the break, and we're going to look at this for a few minutes. Now this is, it's kind of like, where do you begin on it? First of all, given the price point
It's unbelievable
that we're letting this go for, one of the first things out of the gate I want to talk about, and we're showing it to you now, this is an exhibition-backed mechanical automatic. Let me make this very clear. Despite the huge complication that this has, which is known as master calendar, we'll get into that. At this price point, if you can get one, especially in a high-grade quartz movement, $400, don't argue, it's a good deal. This is a mechanical automatic. Now, let's talk about master calendar. Let's talk about the fact that it's a 44 millimeter, and it's not even just that. I think that's a factor, but one of the main reasons I'm adding this, I think, to my personal collection is it's beautiful. This is a watch, when you wear it, I mean, this is genuinely impressive. Now, let's look at this case in point. I know you've got a lot of material to talk about on this piece. This is now being blown up. Depends on, obviously, size of the screen at home. That's roughly 100 times the size of the dial. Now, you're not going to see that unless you're looking under a very high-powered jeweler's loop. That word automatic, that's probably about a 32nd of an inch in height.
Wow.
Look at the detail on that.
It's gorgeous. And
it's magnificent work.
You know, it really is, and it's a great camera shot too, guys. Thank you very much. There's your day of the week subdial right there. And you know, one thing I like to talk about here is, of course, it's a regulator, and we just showed a regulator, our Adamas, which is our #1 selling piece of all time. And we talk about a doctor's watch where the hands never obscure each other, but only twice a day at 12 o'clock. With this watch, you know, with the Time Master, the hour hand, or the minute hand, I should say, never obscures the hour hand because it is so skeletonized. You're going to take it. You're going to show them that.
Yeah, I'll show. Well, I'll walk everybody through a regulator, and in fact, you know what? You mentioned that 12 o'clock thing. Let me show you guys that.
Tim is going to show you right here. It's so cool because even a regulator, the minute hand will obscure the hour hand for 2 minutes per day, which is not bad. Of course, that's still nothing compared to a normal watch. But take a look. Tim has got it set up now. Look at the minute hand. There it goes. He's bringing it up to 12 o'clock. It's a highly skeletonized minute hand. And there's your hour hand at 12 midnight, and bang, you can see right through it. You see right through it. So the minute hand never obscures the hour hand on this watch ever. Not even for 1 minute a day, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if another watch in the world that, well, actually there are some styles where they put, you know, these crazy pieces over here, left and right, and, you know, they get so abstract that it really is difficult
like the Elaine Silverstein stuff?
Yeah.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it gets really abstract. But as far as a regular, normal regulator goes, I don't know if there's another one like it where the minute hand will not obscure the hour hand. But it's just such a precision timepiece, and this is a true conversation piece. It really is. You have this piece, and believe me, you wear this piece, people will stop you, they will ask you, you will show it to them, they will want to see it, they'll want to talk about it. It is just tremendous. And like you said earlier, Tim, you made a great comment on this piece. You said for this price, if it were a quartz, you would have no problem with this.
Now, if you can get a high-grade quartz that will do a master calendar with this grade of a movement, et cetera, don't argue if it's
You wouldn't even argue, but this is not a quartz. It's an automatic. So, I mean, it's just phenomenal for the money. It's a big 44 millimeter, and cases like this are really in right now. It's got that large onion-style crown, okay? So, where do you want to go? We talk about a master calendar. What is a master calendar? In timepiece vernacular, it would show you a day, a date, and a month. Okay, and that's what you have here, a day, a date, and a month. A grand calendar would throw in the year also. But nevertheless, combine a master calendar with a regulator is unbelievable, and then a separate GMT hand. Okay, on top of that, it's just a lot of horology in one automatic timepiece. It is phenomenal. It's a 22 millimeter strap, by the way, and it's finished off with a dual deploying clasp. And I know what you're going to say, Tim. Tim's going to tell you put an exotic on it, and
I'm going to put one on mine.
And I don't blame you.
But you guys, I mean, it's not that the straps that ship with it are bad. They're beautiful. They're double padded. They're nice. They're great.
Well, by the way, let me tell you something about this strap. Take a look at the inside of this strap. This is our new straps. This is a very amply padded strap, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you about this. This is our newest straps. It has a water repellent, sweat repellent liner on this strap. Take a look at that, Tim. You know how when you wear leather straps, it gets worn out after a while. It gets a little funky maybe, okay, after like 6 months or a year of wearing it. With this sweat repellent liner, it actually expands the life expectancy of the genuine leather. This cost more money. We didn't have to do this, okay? So you're getting an unbelievable genuine leather strap. It's amply padded. Feel the padding on that piece. It's unbelievable. So, but Tim's right. You throw an exotic on a piece like this, and it's going to look like you're wearing a $10,000 timepiece. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind us putting exotics on it. The only thing is, if we put an exotic on this, we couldn't offer it at $399.
No, not going to happen.
It would be like $499.
Easily $499.
So we put a beautiful leather, genuine leather strap on it, which we buy in volume, and we have them made up in volume, and we get a good break on that and everything else. And we can offer it at this price. And you know what? If you want to go ahead and throw a 22 millimeter, whatever on there, an ostrich or whatever you want to throw, a croc, an alligator, whatever you want to throw on it, you go ahead and do it on your own.
I do an alligator personally, but any of those would work. By the way, it is a 22 millimeter. We don't have those on our website yet. I'm anticipating getting them in about a week. The reason we did 2 clocks on this, by the way, is that we actually carried this right through the top of the hour break because of the demand. And had I known at the moment we were not going to observe the break, I would never have had a clock up that soon. So that's what we did it for. We got to go. We're actually overtime now on this. It's a $1,300 watch at $399.
If you're looking for something special,
it really is.
Grab this piece.
You guys will love that watch.
Grab this piece. If it's not for you, it's a gift for somebody else. But you got to get one of these right now. It's the Time Master, a masterpiece made for eternity.
Okay, now the next piece we're going to get to is actually one that I have and have had now for about 4 years in my collection. Now, to be very exact, yes, technically the one that I happen to have it on today, has some extra complications, like it has a moon phase, because when this was first brought out, meaning the case and the dial design, about 4 years ago, that was the version that was released. So this newer version, this piece is an 800, by the way, I assure you, when you get this home, you'll understand that this could have retailed and would be supported at $875 plus, well in excess. Fine, we're at $875. This one at $229 is going to absolutely drop your jaw. It will. This piece here, and this is another one, again, in my collection, I put an exotic on it because, frankly, there is something that is kind of neat when you wear this out and people are thinking, you got 16, 18 grand sitting on your wrist. It's sort of neat, especially when you got it for $229. So here's an example. While, again, and I need to stress this, don't get used to the whole $229 business, but while we have them at the kickoff weekend, or call it what you will, you can have it at $229. We're going to offer, and it's just an option, but we do offer our interest-free payment program. By the way, let me explain what that is. It's a method by which you can take an item. Let's take this watch as an example. You can pay this out over the next several months. WSS is not going to charge you any additional, no interest at all, actually, to do that. So you can pay this out, and it's not a layaway. We're going to send this to you after we get only your very first payment, in this case roughly $77, $8 to FedEx. You guys, let's for shipping purposes call this Monday. Most cases Wednesday, Thursday, you guys are going to have it and wear it. So no more waiting 2, 3, 4 weeks to get the watch. You get it in the next few days. Would you rather have your next watch in 2 to 3 days or 2 to 3 weeks? I would think most of you would prefer a couple, 3 days, and that's what we deliver here all day, every day. Let's do 3 minutes on this. Let's talk about the watch. Again, mechanical automatic, phenomenal dial, very classic. I'm guessing historically this must be one of your more popular cases. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing it probably is. No,
you're absolutely right. It is. This case, you're right when you say this case is one of our more popular cases. It's our case, what we call our model 25. We have the 25 M2 and the 25 L2. This is the L2. The M2 has the moon phase complication, which is the piece that you bought. Okay,
right.
This is the L2. But
you guys still make that, by the way?
Well, we're actually sold out on it. We're talking about doing one that would be a Swiss-made version, a limited edition.
Because I've already gotten some requests.
Yeah, no, we're talking about doing possibly a limited edition of that one.
Well, that'll be cool.
That would be a Swiss-made that would go at a price range of about $1,500. But having it 10 microns of gold plating and everything else.
Sure.
But anyway, that's down the line. Hopefully, we're going to do that, hopefully, but we call that one the Bella Luna. This one's called the Park Avenue. In New York, in Manhattan, you know, all the high-rent properties are on Park Avenue. That's where all the rich people live, okay? Well, this piece is right at home on Park Avenue. This is the kind of watch that you want to wear maybe when you're meeting your girlfriend's parents for the first time. You know, you want to show them that you've got some class. That's the kind of elegance and style and grace that this case actually gives off, okay? It's that sleek to know. And here, on the guilloche design on the dial, we call this pattern kind of a ribbon style, okay, as opposed to the Soleil design. Look at that beautiful camera work right there, zooming in.
Now, that word original is about a 32nd of an inch in height.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
The word Stuhrling's roughly a 16th.
And look at the luminescence. You can see the luminescence on those, what I call chopstick markers.
And by the way, I, for one, applaud you guys for putting luminescence on a dress watch. I don't know why you can spend $1 zillion on a dress watch and they somehow think you never, ever wear a watch in a dark room. You never go to the movies. You never have the lights off at the house. You guys built an incredible, you can look at it. It's a beautiful, I know I own one.
Yeah.
It's an elegant, wonderful watch.
It's
and
awesome.
You know what? You can also see it when the lights go out. It's
nice.
It's beautiful.
It's awesome. And as far as the luminescence on the dress watches, that's actually kind of a pet thing for Mr. Fisher, who heads up our design team, as you know, Tim. And
but you guys let's talk about your team for a second. I mean, of course, I've known Mr. Fisher for, more than 4 years. And George A. von Berg. Now, we should talk about him briefly. He heads up your European operation.
Sure.
Third-generation master watchmaker. I've met him on several occasions. In fact, I was his guest last time I was in Switzerland. This guy could not be more generous and possibly the single most gracious person I've ever met in the watch business.
Right.
And he is so unassuming and yet is so brilliant. He makes watches under his own name that go for thousands of dollars. He builds for other very expensive companies. And when I first heard years ago that the original group of investors that put Stuhrling together had acquired him as head of the European division, I couldn't have been happier.
There's no question.
What a coup to get him.
It is a coup. George von Berg, his family, holds a very high place in the Swiss watchmaking legend with their Claro and CMAG factories back in the 60s. They were actually the first ones, the von Bergs, to organize a properly assembled assembly line, and they made their movements for many of the famous names, many of the Swiss branded goods that we know today.
Still do.
And you know, I mean, it's I
was actually a guest in one of his factories actually last time I was over, and he was actually building, ironically, almost nothing with his name on it on that particular. He just happened to, and so I had to sign.
Well, he's a very.
You won't tell anybody who we're building for. And
no, he's a very smart guy, and
what a phenomenal guy to have.
And George is really one of the leaders when it comes to exporting Swiss technology outside the borders of Switzerland. And you know, really, we haven't talked much about Stuhrling tonight as a brand overall, but Stuhrling Original is all about the respect for the art and tradition of the Swiss watchmaking legend. And that goes right directly to Mr. von Berg and Mr. Fisher and everybody else. But, you know what's happening over in Switzerland with the consolidation of so many companies over there. And there really is a huge exportation of Swiss technology now that's going outside the Swiss borders to make things like this possible. And I think George is at the forefront of that. But anyway, bottom line, folks, at that price, get yourself the Park Avenue. You are going to love it. You'll get nothing but compliments on it. And if you don't like it, send it back. But I'll tell you right now, you need to be on the phone and just grab that one. That is certainly one of our all-time winners.
Now, as we go to this next one, I assure you, well, first of all, yes, we do have once again just about every line going because of that last watch. But this is not a watch where I'm going to go, you know what? We got every line going. I'm breathing on the watch, by the way. This is a very, very, very special watch, and I have to be extremely careful with the ones that we have. Well, I try to be careful, of course, with every single watch, but especially with this one. And it's not just because it is $37,000, which, by the way, for those of you who study watches, I'm sure you're all keenly aware that a handmade, all-Swiss tourbillon in solid 18-karat gold is considered a comparative bargain at $36,900. This is a phenomenal value at $22,800. It's at $22,799. We are going to offer this with interest-free payments. And here's where I'm going with this. George A. von Berg actually built this. His company built them. It took about a year to build the total, of which I believe they only did 14.
14 pieces. And Tim, take a look on the monitor right there. Great camera shot. That unit right there is number 14. Did you see it?
Actually, I didn't, but that's a good point. Oh, to finish my point.
There it is. See it?
The reason that I'm being so very, very careful with these is there are only 2 of these left in the world that are not in private collections, and they are the exact 2 that are on our set at this moment. So let's do 3 minutes on this, and then we're going to move on. You are seeing the back, for the record, you are seeing the back of the 18-karat rose gold example. The back of the 18-karat yellow gold, I assure you, is literally identical. You are seeing, of course, the 18-karat yellow from the front. The point I want to make is that you will get the exact watches that you are seeing right now, and they have never been owned. They have been, in fact, in Stuhrling's private collection in their Manhattan office, as a matter of fact, and they, in other words, have not been made available. Well, I can't say ever, even though these exact numbers I don't think were, because 4 years ago I was actually present when George A. von Berg actually flew to the United States and hand-delivered these tourbillons. In fact, I remember that on 2 counts because it was, for example, the same day that I got the watch I'm wearing today. Actually, I bought that directly from George. But this is genius. Now, for those of you who don't know what a tourbillon is, I'll try to give you just a real quick definition. You got to go back a couple hundred years to arguably the greatest genius that the watch world has ever seen. I happen to think a couple of the younger guys now are going to be rivaling. This is almost sacrilege, really, to say to watch guys, but I'd have to say Thomas Prescher's got to be right up there in the innovations that he's doing. But Abraham Louis Breguet is the guy I'm referring to from 200 years ago. So anyway, Breguet had a theory that the reason that watches gained or lost time was because gravity pulled on the escapement of the watch. And so he thought, what if I could sit in my workshop and devise a way where the entire escapement would rotate constantly, thus the gravitational pull would be constantly varied, thus balancing the whole thing out. And now, of course, you got to remember the escapement is obviously where, you can say for lack of a better word, the power of a watch comes. I mean, it's the translator or the transmission, if you will, from the mainspring. So all the while this thing's spinning, it still has to talk to the rest of the movement at exactly the same time. And Breguet figured it out. He did it. And he named his invention the tourbillon, which is French for tornado or whirlwind, named, of course, for the ongoing rotation. Sort of an irony is that it's been subsequently discovered that actually gravity has little to nothing to do with why watches gain or lose time. But it did become, because of the extraordinary technical prowess, it has become one of the most sought-after upscale complications ever built. And ironically, watches with this installed have shown to have greatly improved accuracy. So there was some benefit to it. But these are ingenious. They truly are.
Just take a look at that tourbillon movement that we just passed by, folks. It's amazing. There is no battery in this watch. It's purely mechanical. It's just a bunch of coils and nuts and springs and ratios and gears and metal that is running this watch. It's amazing. Just to think a bunch of metal thrown together is keeping near perfect time. This is the most accurate of all automatics.
Have you ever seen one of these actually made, the tourbillon?
No, but I will tell you this.
I've seen it once.
Mr. Fisher told me it took 12 months to make these 14 watches.
I've actually seen them like one of the, I don't know, there's master watchmaker, and then the guys go beyond that, and the guys that are beyond that are ones that actually build minute repeaters and tourbillons. I've actually seen a guy work on this. Not this exact one, but I've seen it, and you're just sort of in awe. It's like, dude, I can't believe
there's hundreds and thousands of little parts in there that make this watch run near perfect time, and there's no power source in there other than a mainspring. I mean, it's just a coil. But again, this is not for everybody. Even at the bargain price of $22,800, it's certainly not for everybody. That's for somebody special. If there's somebody out there that can afford something like this, give us a call in, put them on the air, ask them some questions, and we'll talk to you. But again, this isn't for everybody. It's just something special to show you, our top of the line Stuhrling originals.
Okay, we have to move on. I'm keenly aware that this is, a very limited market item, but to me, it's not even a question of if this is going to, and I think the right person's going to see this, going to understand what a phenomenal deal this is, and yes, it is going to sell. But even if it doesn't, the fact that this can illustrate so perfectly what Stuhrling has been capable of, and this was the perfect lead-in, or rather talking about George von Berg is the perfect lead-in, because you talk about the brilliance that is in Europe working with you guys that allows this to be possible. It's cool. All right, seriously, there are only 2 left in the world. We have the only 2, and it's under item number 2929. That's the item number again, 2929, for either of the tourbillons, one in solid yellow gold, the other in solid rose. All right, let's go ahead and move on, take a look at an automatic. Again, let's do 3 minutes here, please. This is, I think I misspoke earlier. I think I identified this as a 38 millimeter. It is, in fact, a 40. This piece from $930 is available at $249. Now, I introduced this the same way earlier, but I just can't think of a better way, frankly, to do it. The thing that I love about this is you guys took the complexity and the excitement of a mechanical automatic complication that, frankly, is rather scarce. You rarely see it. But put it in a sport watch motif, and I thought that was a very, very smart idea on you guys' part to do.
Well, the movement itself is proprietary. It's our movement. It was created in our factory, and it's absolutely ingenious. It is a rotating second time zone. Again, there's so many different ways to do dual time zone watches, and I'm sure you've seen more than 100 ways of dual time zones. We've seen, we just saw one tonight that had a second time zone at the 9 o'clock position, and we've seen, dual dials with dual crowns and dual movements. But how about a rotating second time zone on a track? Okay, trailing the minute hand. And when you set the second time zone, by the way, the small dial, the little sub dial there, when you set that, it's not the hands that move, it's the dial that moves. It's absolutely ingenious. And I can't believe, I don't think we have any of the yellow dials left, Tim. But,
no, there's definitely, I was going to say less than 20. There's way less than that now. The yellow, technically, there's a couple hanging in there, but this is just about
right.
Gone.
But the yellow dial definitely will be the first one to go, ladies and gentlemen.
So
and there's
cool.
And what we've done with it, you're right. It is a sport watch because, we've put it on a rubber strap, and that right away kind of makes it sporty. Okay, but at the same time, it's an automatic. Okay, so you've got an automatic sport watch. The theme of this watch is kind of the squared design. As you can see on that screw back case back, it's got the beveled edge to the case back, and it's got the squared design cut into the case back. There's your square design cut into the dial. The squared theme continues down through the rubber strap, if you want to show that as well. There's the Côte de Genève on the rotor. You've got the blued steel screws. Beautiful, beautiful butterfly clasp on this piece. It's a real conversation piece. It really is. Be careful when you size that rubber strap, though. You don't want to cut it too small, and then you're kind of screwed. I would recommend just cutting one link at a time, because you also have room for adjustment in the clasp as well. That's a very, very expensive butterfly clasp, by the way. But again, ladies and gentlemen, great dual time zone.
Nice.
It is. It's a very expensive push-button butterfly. There are deploying clasps that you have to pull it and it tugs until it opens and all that.
This is a very nice clasp.
Yeah, it's a very expensive clasp too. It's got a nice satin finish to it, and it's got a great feel, that rubber strap too, and it's a solid, chunky stainless steel case, 316L stainless steel, which will not rust, by the way. People ask all the time, why 316L? It's the highest grade and all that. Well, the main thing is the difference between stainless steel or between steel and stainless steel is that steel will rust, stainless steel will not. But even low-grade stainless steel can rust a little bit, okay? But the more nickel you put in it, okay, makes it anti-magnetic, and therefore it will not rust. And that's what you have with 316L, and of course all of our watches are made from that, and they're cut from a solid bar. They're not cast, okay? So it's not a die and then we pour, all right? And then little design details, like the second hand is color coordinated to the outline on the square dots as well. So a great value here at $249. Great sport watch, make a great gift as well.
Okay, putting the last call on that, we're going to move on to some other stuff for you guys here. The next piece that we're going to get to.
I love this one, Tim.
I think this is a beautiful, beautiful looking watch, and again, and I stated this during the preview, and I guess I'll open with it. Please do not get used to this kind of a discount from $930. This is the big, and I'm sure the thousands of you that subscribe to our newsletter programs, etc., are keenly aware of this. Stuhrling, you've just come basically to the Worldwide Shopping Source. This is our big debut weekend. Both of us really stepped up to the table here with very sharp pencils, and this is a way to celebrate, and we're thrilled you guys are here. That being stated, please, those of you at home, I urge you to take advantage of this offer. I want you to buy as many as you need, but please don't get used to this whole $930 watch, which this is, going out at $149, because we're not going to be doing that on any regular basis. For now, we are. Needless to say, this has proven to be one of the hottest that we've had in the course of the last couple of days, which makes sense. Not only is it a beautiful watch, but frankly, it's, well, let's be honest, it's almost $1,000, and you can get it for $149. And we are offering this with interest-free payments. That means for as little as basically $50 and $8 to FedEx, you guys are going to have this by realistically Wednesday in most cases. The item number is 2920. Color choices are stainless steel with a beautiful silver die with blue accents. You can also get this with the black with the rose layering. You can also get this with the rose with the rose. There's some very, very cool options here for you guys. So I guess a great question for you, because I know this is one of your favorites, is what made this actually one of your favorites? Because you see so many.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because a lot of the watches, for example, the watch I'm wearing tonight, which is our Power Reserve, and we're going to get into that on our next visit, and even the watch that you're wearing, and some of the other, a lot of our watches are very elegant, and they're very graceful, and they're very classy and dressy, okay? But sometimes you want something that's a little bit, you want something that's kind of dressy for a suit and everything, but not over the top. This has a French influence, okay? We call it the Versailles, all right? This is kind of a simple elegant, a simple dress. It's not like overdress, okay? And that's what makes it one of my favorite. It's almost like an everyday dress. If that's like a jumbo shrimp contradiction, I don't know what is, but it's almost like an everyday kind of dress watch. Look at that screw down case back with the same pattern, the same design on the case back that is guillocheted into the dial. Also, you know, the circular theme on this watch, it's a tonneau shape, but it looks like a round watch, and yet it's a tonneau case. And the way that the edges of the case are beveled, okay, kind of adds to the illusion that it's round. And then the Arabic numerals that are encircled around the dial down at the 6 o'clock position, the date is it's just kind of hidden down there. So it's kind of an understated dress watch, and that's what makes it one of my favorites. It's not like ungepatscht, if you know what that means, all right?
I don't, but I'll run with it, dude.
It's not like overdone, all right? Got a little bit of luminescence. You got the round circular dots every 5 minutes, the beautiful guilloche soleil design that we've talked about over and over tonight. It's just, this is one of our I mean, this is a great piece. And if the case looks familiar and the design, again, this is something that is very similar to the Hermes. And of course, the Hermes piece that's similar to this sells for 20 times the price or more. I mean, it's a very, very expensive piece. So we call it the Versailles because of its French influence. And there's the decorated movement, as you can see on the back. And folks, I myself was surprised by the price here tonight. I know what we marked these down to WSS here. I know what we marked them down to. And I thought we were going to see this on the air at $199 tonight, which would be a super, super value at $199. At this price here, $149, and I realize it's not my job to talk about price. That's your job, Tim. But nevertheless, I'm kind of surprised. You guys really aren't making very much money on this piece. And so it's something that you guys wanted to get Stuhrling watches on people's wrists, and I appreciate that. And this went well in our last show as well. So, folks, get on the phone and take advantage of this. I mean, you will love this piece. Look at that knurled edge crown with the cabochon.
I love the cabochon, and also, I don't think either of us have mentioned the fact that this is a sapphire crystal watch, which is, considering it's very thick and very domed, is a phenomenal buy at $150. Now, the flat sapphire, it's still a really good buy. A domed, thick sapphire like this is an insane buy at $149, and that's before you get to the fact that it's a mechanical automatic, phenomenal guilloche design dial.
You're absolutely right.
This is beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Tim is so right about this, ladies and gentlemen. I almost forgot to mention that. It is sapphire crystals front and back, and it's a domed sapphire. And also, that's a sapphire cabochon as well.
This is an unbelievable.
It was never intended. This watch is not intended to sell at this price. It really isn't even intended.
No, it's not. What would dealer cost being almost $500?
It wasn't even intended. It wasn't even intended to sell at $199, which is what I thought we were going to be selling it at, and you guys kind of surprised me here. But that's okay. You know, you guys have your reasons, we have our reasons, and we just want everybody at home to take advantage of it. You know, we're making our little piece, and you're making your little piece, and hopefully, folks at home, you guys can take advantage of this. If it's not for you, it's a great gift for somebody else. But bring it home and try it on, I'll tell you that.
This is, for anyone who studied crystals, you understand that the exponential cost increase it is to get sapphire in a real thick domed option like this. This is a phenomenal piece. It really is.
It's gorgeous.
We got to go. I know our time's up. Yes, we've got every line going. And I didn't know this till Larry said it. The cabochon inset into the crown is also a sapphire.
Yes, it is.
This is insane. All right, so while they last, I'm not sure if we got any more. If you want rose, you'd best call right now.
Yeah,
that may already be gone.
Yeah,
but,
the rose gold is probably
anyway,
the dressiest.
We got to go.
If you want the dressiest execution, I would say the rose gold case is the dressiest, Tim. Where are we going? The Traveler?
Traveler.
Oh, I love this piece.
Now, again, I'll limit this one to roughly 3 minutes. We'll see where we are. This is, first of all, aesthetically, it's a very beautiful watch. Let me pick one of these up. This is, I believe, a 40. I'll bring out the claw of death here just to be sure. Yeah, it's a
40 millimeter. I know you're going to go on about this watch. This watch is kind of similar in style to the Jean Marais and Gilman, okay? But theirs has two crowns, and we've done it very, very differently. As I told you before, ours is the only world timer in the world that has Jerusalem instead of Cairo. You know, for all these time zones, Tim, and ladies and gentlemen, there's the accepted city for that time zone. For example, the Eastern Standard Time, everybody knows, is New York City.
Right.
On the Pacific Standard Time, everybody accepts is Los Angeles. You know, Central Time was Chicago. So you have these accepted cities representing their time zones, right? Well, the accepted time zone city in whatever time zone it's referred to back there, where typically you have Cairo in Egypt, and I don't know what time zone that's called, but whatever it is, it's Cairo. Well, we changed it and we put Jerusalem. And, you know, I think that's kind of cool, you know, being a nice Jewish boy from the Valley, but regardless.
Well, one of the things I liked about it is that it makes it immediately collectible, being a solitary dial with that change being made on it. Even somebody who happens to have a world timer from any number of brands that build them would prize this one for that single change on
the only one in the world. It's the only one in the world.
And see, again, people collect watches, they approach it from any number of angles. One of the major angles I have when I add watches to my collection is it unique? Because I don't see the point of collecting the mundane. That's just me. And so the very fact that, and there you go, again, back to your very, very famous guilloche, South Georgia, which I actually photographed last year.
Now, South Georgia, I did some research on that. This is amazing. You know, South Georgia is not the state in the United States.
No, it's not.
Okay.
So I've also been there.
Yeah. What, to South Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
I read there were like 24 people on the island.
Actually, it's South Georgia.
It's a little island. There's like 24 people.
There is actually 20. Actually, the one I'm thinking of, there is one island I was photographing down there that there's two families that divided the island in half, and they actually in the warm months they actually will just trade because they raise like lambs, and don't ask me why in Antarctica, but which is where that is, by the way. They have lambs and sheep and whatever. So
it's amazing.
They barter that with basically National Geographic expeditions that come down there that want to eat sheep.
So, folks, if you know anybody in South Georgia, send them this watch.
And they'll be impressed that South Georgia's actually on a watch. But you know what?
Show them how this works?
Very gracious.
This is an amazing world timer. We call it the Traveler. It's a premium Swiss quartz movement. It says the Traveler. We cut the design and the name right into the back of the case, Tim. If you want to show it to them. You want to explain how this timepiece works?
Okay, very quickly, and I know we're over time here, so I'll be brief, at least as brief as I'm able. Okay, basically what you're going to do is you're going to adjust this this inner ring using the crown. You pull it out of stop, and you're going to move this. Now, point being is what you want to do is, first of all, set the time to your home zone. Now, I have no way of knowing what that is, you know, Eastern, whatever. All right, so you set that. Now, once you've got that in place, you're then going to move this inner ring. This is not a date wheel. I've actually several people that have already asked, is this a date? No, actually, if you want a date complication, you do have one. It's located here. This is showing you the 24 zones around the world. So once you set your home time correctly, you're then going to choose another zone. Let's take New York as an example. Most people can relate. Now, if you're in the Eastern, you probably want to pick something else. But the point is, you wanted to pick, let's say we broadcast from the Central Zone, you would set this for Central Time, then you would move this ahead 1 hour. For example, now this is 24 hours, mind you, so in the evening you'd be, 2200, 2300, whatever. If it makes it easier to think in 1 through 12, set it in the morning. Now, here's my point. Once this is offset correctly, which is all you're doing with your secondary zone, is setting offset correctly. Once you have done that,
you're done.
You never, ever have to touch this again. And I don't know of any other world timer where that's true. Any other world timer, if you want to see the other time in the different zones, you have to spin the bezel or whatever. And this one keeps track of it permanently. And I think that was a very, very clever innovation that you guys built into this. It's under $200, interest-free payments, gorgeous watch, very cool dial, very cool, very collectible complication. I think you guys have a very bright future with it.
It tells you the time all over the world. And again, this price here at $199.98 is something I personally was not expecting. You guys shaved your margins even tighter. So, ladies and gentlemen, take advantage of that. This is a great gift for a business traveler.
Beautiful. And I know we got to put a last call.
And it's a dressy watch as well, Tim.
But it is.
It's a very dressy watch. You can wear it with any suit,
so you
whatever.
guys can see it. But
looks great with a dark suit.
Beautiful.
There it is.
You can get rose gold layering if you would like. Look at that on. Just sharp, classic black on black.
Yeah.
Look at that. Black sweater, black blazer. There you go. Black jeans. 2927. Number one seller so far is the one with the rose gold treatment. Okay, moving ahead. Now, this one, as I understand, was one of, I'm not going to say it is like absolutely new, or maybe it is. It was new to me, but it is actually very new.
Yeah, it's like in the last 2 months, a brand new model, really. Here we call it the Big Easy because it's an easy read. It's an at-a-glance kind of read. It's one of those watches. Some watches, you have to kind of, you don't get a quick glance read. This one is very easy to read, and it has a big date. Up at the 12 o'clock position. So it's the Big Easy. You see that? Not to be confused with the city of New Orleans, which I love and I hope is going to make a full comeback because I love that city. Anyway, take a look at this one. The Big Easy, Swiss quartz movement with a big date complication, and that's the copper dial you're showing right there, and it's a beautiful copper dial as well. You pointed that out in the preview, Tim.
Well, one of the things I love about this copper dial is that it really does look like copper. It's not something where you name it copper, but it's really more pink or it's orange or... You collectors know what I'm talking about. Don't tell me you haven't seen it. This one actually looks like you squashed a brand new penny and made a dial out of it.
Mm-hmm. It really does.
And I'm not trying to talk you into the copper, by the way. All of these are very beautiful dials. And frankly, if you want the most collectible, as in unusual, I'd put you into the mocha.
I like the brown.
Out of all of them.
Very much so. That mocha is awesome. But offset second-hand subdial, Swiss quartz movement, just a little bit of luminescence on those hands. Love that too. Luminescent dots on the inside minute track as well. Just just kind of a everyday casual watch. I mean, typically I don't wear automatics to work every day. I'll take a couple with me in my briefcase, what I'm going to wear. But I like to wear a quartz watch for every day. I mean, that's just me, Well,
the smart thing about wearing a quartz watch every day is that, and I'm sure this is probably one of your motivations, but for those of you who don't know, let's get into this a little bit. What is the difference between a quartz watch and an automatic or a quartz and a mechanical? The difference... Well, without getting into all the gears and all that, basically for everyday use, the difference is with a mechanical or an automatic, you're going to have a watch you'll probably have to wind, and it's not going to be as accurate as a quartz watch. Now, the reason that people like myself collect the mechanicals and mechanical automatics is that's where the artistry overall is where the artistry of horology is. Now, the reason that quartz, I recommend to many people, the reason that quartz is popular, and deservedly so, is that it's very accurate. Frankly, if you're buying a watch only to be accurate, let me put you into quartz, because you're not going to get a mechanical automatic that will rival a quartz in pure accuracy. But the other reason that you like quartz is that it's basically maintenance free. You're going to put a battery in, and that's another thing. Mechanical and mechanical automatics, unless you're buying a hybrid, don't have a battery of any kind. So what you'll do here is you'll have a watchmaker or a jeweler every couple, 3 years. They put a battery in it, and you just set it, and there you go. It's very accurate. You can put it down for 6, 8 months. You pick it up 6, 8 months. It's very accurate. It's a cool thing to have. So, yes, if you want accuracy and convenience, let me put you into quartz. And that's what this delivers. Only you're not going out, and by the way, if you doubt me, you can spend serious money on a quartz. Now, if you really want to get fancy, Agler-Coulter's got some in the mid-thousands for you. But even if you want to take those guys off the table, it's not uncommon to see a quartz watch. I guarantee you between $1,000 and $2,000,
see them all the time.
Day long at around
Movados, Ebels.
Absolutely, Bombardier, all
go right down the list. You're absolutely right.
Todd Heuer.
Go right down the list. You see them all day long. Swiss quartz movements for over $1,000. But here it is, Swiss quartz, very functional timepiece. That mocha execution there is gorgeous. I like the silver tone with the blue as well. Beautiful blue that we have. Little bit of luminescence on it, and a very hot shape. This shape, we've seen this in other brands as well. And so we came out with our version. Now, we did a shape like this, and the one that sold out earlier had a similar shape to this. But it's a very hot-selling type of shape. I don't even have a proper name for it. It's certainly not a tonneau. It looks like a racetrack. But you need to get that one as well, and it's a great gift item. What do we got?
All right. Now, as we move on to this next one, and I freely will tell you guys, everybody right up front, dial choices are always very subjective. And that being stated, in my opinion, I think there are 2 dials, and this is saying something for Stuhrling, which is literally famous for dials. Ask anyone familiar with the brand. They will tell you, with rarest exception, that Stuhrling has been just astonishing with their dial construction. And historically, there are 2 dials, in my view, that have really, really stood out. One of them was on a first-generation regulator, which sadly is no longer in production. Just one of the most extraordinary dials. And those of you who collected it about 4 years ago, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other is this dial. This, frankly, gentlemen, is going to be the best $229 you're going to spend on a dial this year, if not historically, if not in your entire collection ever. I would encourage you not just to compare this dial with similar watches in $200 to $300 range, because frankly, I can't name another watch, not even frankly another Stuhrling, that can compare in the $200 to $300 range. Look at watches in $10,000 and under, and put this up. Now, I'm not talking about, is the movement very, very complex, and was each individual piece individually hand assembled and hand finished and da-da-da-da. No, listen to me. Dials. Compare dial for dial. Put this up against a watch at $10,000 and under, and in some cases even higher than that. And I will promise you this much. This dial, and we'll do extreme close-ups on this dial will hold its own. I guarantee it. Get this home in 3 days. You will see that I'm right, and you will see that I am not exaggerating this even a little bit. Oh, by the way, this is also mechanical automatic with an offset sweep, with a day and date complication located in the center of the dial, usually the property of watches going for very, very serious dollars. Also a pointer date, which I know is a feature that you love to talk about. So I'm going to turn this, let's do again 3 minutes here roughly, guys. I'm going to turn this over to Larry for a bit, and we're going to continue showing some of these extreme close-ups of the dial, because this is a magnificent watch. You guys you have to be extremely proud of the way this turned out.
Listen, I love this piece. We call it the Novizio Giorno, which means new day, and that's referring to the pointer date. It's a master calendar. You've got your day and month complication. Your aperture is right in the middle of the dial there below 12 o'clock. And then the date itself is indicated by a separate hand that points to the date, referred to in the timepiece industry as a pointer date. We have a new pointer date coming out. We should bring it in next month. But this one here is very similar in style to the Dubé and Schaldebrand, which is a very, very high-end company, very high-end piece. And the dial itself is kind of a wavy sun ray pattern. It's just gorgeous. And I would say, wear this watch and you're going to feel like $1 million. This is a huge, just a huge tonneau shaped case. A monster tonneau shaped case. And one of the things that makes it so unique is that it's got covered lugs. So the strap kind of goes like into the case and underneath the case. And so it gives it a different look where the case is kind of just sitting up there on top of your wrist. It's got recessed pushers. And you know, earlier on another show, I had said if there was one watch you were going to buy, make it the Park Avenue. And now that I see, again, a surprise price, we were expecting to have this on the air at $299, and WSS just went crazy with their margins here, all the way down to $229.98. I would tell you, for the price, for the money, if there was one piece that you were going to buy on this show, I would say for the money, this one would have to be it. Because
I agree with you.
Yeah, because it is everything that Stuhrling represents. It is an automatic timepiece. It's got the incredible dial work. It is a pointer date complication. It is a master calendar complication. It's got the huge tonneau shaped case, fantastic Cristerna crystals front and back. Everything about it. This is just a tremendous piece. And you know, the two executions there that are in the rose gold, if I'm not mistaken, they're identical as far as the dial work and the colors. The only difference is the strap. I think one has a brown strap and one has a black strap, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless of which execution that you pick, you cannot goof up on this one. Not at this price. It is just, if you were going to buy only one watch on the show for the money, I would make it this piece right here. It's our Novizio Giorno, the new day. It is a pointer date. Again, there are so many ways that you can show a date complication on a watch, and I think one of the classiest ways is a separate hand that points to the date. And if you look at that hand, it's got the skeletonized arrow, the skeletonized tip that points right to the date. In this instance, it's pointing to 22, okay, on the camera that's being shown there. So that one hasn't been set. But nevertheless, this one's pointing to 21. But again, luminescent hands, luminescent Arabic numerals. This is a piece that your friends are going to go gaga for. This is a piece that you'll probably want to call back and get another one to give as a gift. Ladies, if you're watching, give this to your husband. I mean, he's going to freak out for it. It's just a very, very classy and very, very dressy piece. It looks like several $1,000s, and it's an automatic timepiece as well.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's awesome.
This is one of these pieces where I just rather enjoy watching the extreme close-ups of this dial.
Yeah, now you see those two...
These are fabulous
watches. You see those two rose gold executions right there? I believe they're identical. The only difference is one has a brown strap and one has a black. Okay? Rose gold hands, rose gold Arabic numeral outline. Yeah, so they are the same. The only difference is one is on a brown and one is on a black. Okay? And then the other one, of course, is the stainless with the blue. Okay? But no matter which one you get, you can't go wrong on this. Very similar in style to the Dubé and Chaldebrand. And like we talked about earlier, Tim, you know, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many different shapes of tonneau cases. We've seen what do we call the other one? The plump one. We've seen a sleek one. This one is just a well-proportioned. And if you're not familiar with the tonneau shape, it's kind of like a pickle barrel, okay, where the sides are kind of just puffed out. Instead of a straight rectangular case, it's like a pickle barrel. And this one here is just a huge monster. And look at the beveled edge on the screw-down case back. That is so cool. And you know, if you're not that familiar, when you see a screw-down case back, that's another indicator of quality. It's not just a case back.
Oh, I absolutely do. I'm no fan of the snapback. I mean, I understand it reaches a price point and all that,
yeah,
so I don't want to overly trash it. But this is
exactly
for $229. Guys, I'm telling you, this may well. I mean, how can I know ultimately, right? I don't know all of your collections, but I can honestly tell you that this is going to be one of the best $229s you ever spent, and in many instances, it will be by far the best that you will ever spend. This is a brilliant, brilliant dial, and that's before you get to the fact it's a complex mechanical automatic. This is, by the way, a 20-millimeter strap. It does ship with a very nice leather strap. In my personal opinion,
I agree.
I would go to our website, and I would, as soon as you're ready, I would put you into an exotic. You put this on a powder or flat finish exotic, alligator or crocodile, this watch will look like you're wearing 10 to 20 grand. It's that convincing. And by the way, if you're not familiar, go to shoppingsource.com. We can save you a literal fortune on some of the world's finest exotic straps. And no, I'm not exaggerating. All our straps are made. We have a factory direct relationship, much like we do with Stuhrling and Javril and Oceanite, what have you. We save you a literal fortune on some of the world's best exotic straps. So check it out. I'm not going to get into it now, but they're over there. So go. We have plenty of 20s, and we have all the colors because we just got the new shipment in, so you can get the perfect one for this watch. And you'll have the watch on Wednesday in most cases, so check it out. All right. Now, speaking of straps, here's a great segue to get into our ladies' examples. One of the things, and you guys did so much right on this watch, and you obviously know that, but I have to say that one of the things you guys did right was instead of putting this on, because you could have, obviously, you could go, well, you know what, we're going to be releasing this under, $400. I mean, you could say, well, let's just do leather, do a patent. Patent leather would have been nice. There's all sorts of things you could have done, but you went with the exotic Stingray. And it's not even my favorite feature. I just think it's one of the most prominent features on this, and it's a very, very cool watch.
Well, it is. I mean, where do we begin? The movement is A++. I mean, it's a premium Swiss quartz movement. It's a perpetual calendar. It's got 3 time zones. It's a chronograph. It's got a countdown timer. It's got an alarm. It's got a scheduler. It's got a simple date, and you can shut it all off with a push of a button, okay? And it's got a beautiful, beautiful mother of pearl outer ring that's left remaining from the dial, and then the Stingray strap. And the Stingray strap, this is a lady's watch. We call it the Lady Anna Digi. Somehow that got lost on the on our model sheet, but I did put on the data sheet Lady Anna Digi. We have the Sir Anna Digi too, and I think we plan to have the Sir Anna Digi here. I guess I don't know, maybe it'll be here next time. But anyway, the Lady Anna Digi, we are very, very proud of this piece. And I will tell you what, lately I have noticed, of course, not only are there a lot of major watch companies doing Anna Digis right now, we all know that, but I see a lot of the cheap guys doing the Anna Digis as well. And I just want to make sure that everybody out there that's watching our show right now understands that that is not what we have here. There are some Anna Digis, they call them Anna Digis out there. I see them selling them for 39 bucks, okay? That's not what is the case here. You could buy a Casio for 10 bucks, I believe, or $19.
You know, on that topic, just real quick, this is not exactly an Anna Digi, but I've shared this story a few times on the air, and I think there's some real sage advice in this. Years and years ago, when I was actually studying, when I first began seriously studying horology and watches, one of my earliest mentors, and I happily endorse him, and please check him out. He's in St. Martin, a very fine merchant there named Love Matani. That's his real name. First name is Love Matani. He's over on the French side of St. Martin. But he handles Patek Philippe, and he handles Chopard, and I bought my Vacheron from him. And anyway, the point is that this guy is just a wizard in watches. And the real reason I'm bringing this up is he's made the point that you were about to make, which is, and I thought that this is, again, from a guy that I would sit in his office and he'd go, try that on. You know how much that is? $250,000. And so here was his advice. He goes, if it's over $50, it ceases to be about time.
That's interesting. Well, that's true.
That is a brilliant, simple statement.
It's true. If all you want is a watch to tell the time, I can go into Rite Aid and buy a watch for 10 bucks that'll keep perfect time. You're absolutely right. That's a beautiful story. And I'm so glad you brought it up.
Because if you think about it, but at this point you have to be buying style, you have to be buying grades of quality, you have to be buying prestige.
This is a premium Swiss quartz movement, and we've wrapped it beautifully for the ladies with just an exquisite, absolutely exquisite Stingray strap. And Chris, our beautiful model here, is showing you this right now. Chris, if you could, just give that band a twist, that Stingray, to show the pliability. Look at that. Look how that turns. Thank you, Chris. And it's just incredible. It's natural Stingray. She's showing you the white execution, which, guys, if you want to get your lady a gift, this would make a fantastic gift. The Lady Wall Street we talked about earlier tonight, that would be an automatic.
In fact, we're going to recap that shortly.
We're going to recap the Lady Wall Street. But if you don't want to give her an automatic timepiece, okay, give her a quartz so she doesn't have to mess with the automatic. Okay, this would be sensational. I think the black is probably the dressiest one. That's the one that Tim is playing with right there. The black,
very nice.
The black Stingray has a little bit of a glisten to it. Okay, look at that mother of pearl ring. Now, right there, stop, Tim. Now, you see, Tim's got the simple date there, the 14. Now, today's
cool?
Yeah, that's called now he's at the simple date mode, okay? Now, you want to shut that off? Look at that periscope pusher up there by the 2 o'clock position. Just push that one time. Push it one time. There it is. It's off. You can shut the digital display completely off just like that, and nobody even knows you have a digital. So again, there are Anadigis out there that are cheap, kind of thing, but that's not what we have here.
I love the rainbow, by the way, in the mother of pearl you guys chose.
We are so
beautiful.
proud of
That's
this achievement.
sharp.
And folks, let me tell you
Look at
something
this
right now.
Look at this.
This is not intended, again, at this price. This is a WSS introductory, coming out of the box, welcome Stuhrling original, bang, at $229. It really is, in a solid 316L stainless steel case with a Stingray strap and a dual deployant clasp for the ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, stop. Take a look at what we're showing you on the screen right now. Take a look at this piece. It is special. The price is special. I'm telling you now, bring this home, and if you don't like it, send it back. You've got that option, but you will love this piece, and your lady will love you for it. And now, speaking of a gift for the ladies, take a look at this, Tim.
Now, this is one that we're going to basically recap from last hour. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in a few of the greatest hits. Obviously, I'm not nearly pretending we're going to get into any kind of a 2-hour recap here, because I'd just be showing you a slideshow, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to do a few things live. We're going to start out with this one for a couple of minutes. One of the biggest sellers from last hour. Frankly, it's been one of the biggest sellers on our big, call it the debut, if you will, opening weekend with Stuhrling, which has been, I think, a success beyond what anybody thought it would be.
It's been incredible.
Which is obviously
Thank you, everybody. I mean, I can even see, on the call board over here, the call volume's been tremendous. So thank you, everybody. It's been phenomenal. We're looking at the Lady Wall Street, Tim. Go ahead and you can take it over.
This piece from $660 is out at $179. Now, what's really cool about this one, in my view, there's a lot to talk about, but if I had to pick any single factor, it's the fact, and let's just look at this blue one here, case in point, is the fact that this is a genuine mechanical automatic. Exhibition front, exhibition back. This is not something that is, and some of you I'm sure have seen this, I know I certainly have, in airports for some reason. They seem to populate airports a lot, where they have these watches that are really quartz, where they put a lot of scrap metal in there. It's supposed to make you think it's a mechanical for some reason. This is a genuine skeletonized mechanical automatic with blue screws, with a mother of pearl dial, with domed crystals. Here's a great shot of the pink one, which has been the #1 seller, by the way. Isn't this brilliant? Wow. Guys, this is under $180. If not for yourselves, purchase this for a woman in your life. Put this $60 on interest-free payments. You will keep this. Oh, and speaking of the holidays and all that, we have extended return policy where any watch you purchase now via Tonight or whatever on our website, between now and December 23rd, you have until January 31st to return it. So absolutely you're covered for the Hanukkah season and for Christmas and whatever, with plenty of time to have the person receiving it as a gift look it over and make sure it's perfect. So please buy with full confidence that we got you covered. This one, we're going to move on. I'm going to try to get to at least one more, if not two more watches here. This one is available under 2932 in your choice of the decorator colors. All right. Arguably the biggest seller since we've had you guys here over the last 3 days, and there is no arguing that this is the #1 seller for you guys historically. Let's take a look at this. Let's try a couple of minutes, and maybe we can squeeze in one additional watch, and we'll see how it goes. Do you have any thought as to why this has become the #1 seller? Do you think it's a particular feature, or was it an anomaly? How do you guys view that? Well, because you guys have had it. This has been a blockbuster for you guys. It hasn't been like just odd thing.
It has been a blockbuster. I think it was a lot of good planning. I think it was a lot of good marketing by one of our reselling partners, quite frankly. And I mean, we could have selected one of 5 or 6 watches to really focus on and highlight, and yet this was the choice of that particular reseller, and we threw a lot of effort behind it, a lot of marketing dollars behind it, and it turned out to be the right choice. It was a joint effort, and I'll tell you, we've shipped close to 10,000 pieces this year on this piece, and this is the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that you're getting an opportunity to buy this on television. Now, maybe there's some people out there watching us tonight that own this watch that bought it somewhere else. We've seen this watch in Time magazine. We've seen this watch in National Geographic. We've seen this watch, I mean, there's literally over 100 publications that this watch has appeared in an advertisement that we did with one of our reselling partners. It is by far our biggest #1 selling watch of all time, and we really were not supposed to be able to bring it on TV until after December 31st of this year. That was our arrangement. We called, we made the arrangements to break that deal, and it was okay. We got the permission from our reseller. We had given him an exclusive on it, and we were able to bring this one execution. We call it the Adamas because it's unconquerable. It is absolutely, and it's got the open heart. It is a regulator, ladies and gentlemen. It's got a separate hour hand, separate minute hand. You've got the AM, PM indicator, the sun and moon. You've got the open heart, which adds to the beauty. This is an automatic timepiece. Look at that. That's not being run by a battery, folks. That's being run by just metal. I mean, that's just a coil. And here we go, the Time Master.
Now, I've got barely a minute left, so we're going to be showing this, obviously, for a minute. This is one I will be adding to my collection. I can tell you, when you see this in person, it is nothing short of impressive. It is a 44 millimeter case, so this is not going to be about subtlety, as you can see here as Chris is wearing one of them. It's available in 3 different configurations, either the black on black, which is literally a black, stark black dial with some beautiful silver highlights. The silver with the blue you can currently see. We also have this in the gorgeous silver with a rose, as you can see here. This is such a brilliantly complicated piece, including the regulator complication for small money. I guess the one thing I will emphasize right out of the gate here at under $400 on a $1,300 watch is that this is a mechanical automatic.
Well, it's a mechanical automatic for sure. Absolutely, you're right. But, it's 44 millimeters. It's a regulator combined with a master calendar combined with a separate GMT hand in an automatic timepiece. I mean, we really need a lot of time to go into this. I know it's a recap. We're running out of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to just take our word for it, take my word for it, listen to the right voices, and you'll make the right choices. I deal with these watches every single day. This is one that you will not be sorry on. You cannot goof up on. It is an absolute winner. It's a conversation piece. You will love this piece. You're going to have to just take my word. We're out of time. Get that piece home and get it on your wrist.
Literally out of time. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we got to go.
Thank you, everybody. Until next time, for Stuhrling Original, I'm Larry Magen. Peace, love, and all good things.
Tune in every week and save on some of the sleekest, sharpest, and smartest electronics on the market today. Watch Plug and Play Electronics, whether it's digital or analog, MP3, DVD, or even vinyl. You'll find exceptional savings on state-of-the-art merchandise that will put you in the forefront of today's technology. For the lowest prices on the highest tech around, check out Plug and Play Electronics, only on WSS, your shopping source. What if we only had one choice? Take this vanilla ice cream cone, for instance. Yeah, it looks inviting now, but in time, a little variety would be nice. At WSS, we bring you variety shows that give you more. New products, additional features, extra values. What more can you ask for? Why not spice up your day with some extra flavor and tune into WSS? WSS, variety, and you. It's your world. Enjoy it.
Customer satisfaction. You hear that phrase a lot, but at the Worldwide Shopping Source, we stand behind it. If for any reason you're not completely satisfied with your purchase, we are happy to exchange it, credit your account, or refund your money within 30 days of the date listed on your invoice. Just log on to theshoppingsource.com or call our customer satisfaction representatives, and we will be happy to assist you. Customer satisfaction. Just another reason why we are your shopping source.
You never know what you'll find at your Worldwide Shopping Source. Tune in daily. More variety. Assorted value. It's one shopping adventure that will proudly have you stating, "Look what I found." WSS. Variety and you. It's your world. Enjoy it.
Well, hi everyone, and welcome to The Coin Collector. My name is Jerry Bartz. I'm filling in for Skip Conley. He'll be back next week, but this is going to be one phenomenal hour of coin collecting. Actually, I have 2 hours, so don't be going anywhere for the next 2 hours because The Coin Collector has truly got an incredible variety of coins for you, and you are going to find some that are at amazing prices that you just cannot live without. We've got it all. We've got gold, we've got silver, we've got ancient coins, we've got modern coins. You're going to find coins from around the world and from the good old US of A. And also we've got eagles and pandas and libs and shekels and proof sets and mint sets and a whole lot more during the next 2 hours. So glad you could tune us in. If you are looking for coins, this is going to be the hot spot to be for the next couple hours. Then my third hour is a plug-and-play show. We're moving into the world of electronics in hour number 3. And that hour has a phenomenal buy on a great big TV that you are going to want for the holidays. Make this one yours. It's the X2 Gen 27-inch HD-ready LCD TV for just $699.99. And yes, you can even do that on custom pay. That's 3 custom pays of $233.33. That's coming along in hour 3 during a plug-and-play hour. So wow, what a lineup we've got in store for you. And also, if you're looking for things other than coins or electronics, well, you can always go to shoppingsource.com. That's a great site for anything from jewelry to watches to housewares, and yes, coins too. We've got a great part that's called Coins of Distinction. You're definitely going to want to check that out if you are a numismatist. That's shoppingsource.com, and you can always order via the internet or use our toll-free number that's sitting right there on the top of your screen, 1-888-449-7788. It's shoppingsource.com for whatever you're shopping for, whether it be day or night or in between, shoppingsource.com. Well, this is The Coin Collector. My name is Jerry Bartz, and what a show we have got for you. Wait till you see some of the things that we're going to give you this hour. What we've got available, you're going to love. Let's just take a look at some of the things that are going to be available this hour. Now, the Silver Eagle, the largest U.S. silver dollar ever made from 1999, the last of the 1900 coins, for just $14.99. This came from an unopened box. In other words, it had been sitting